Hello everyone, so I'm Gladwin Peng Yuhan, currently studying Bachelor of Accounting in Year 3 Sem 3. So now I'm going to share some tips to learn and achieve better result in the AFAR exam. So as for your information, Advanced Financial Accounting Reporting is an important course for ICW because it combines all the topic we have learned before. In my opinion, you need to have a very good foundation in accounting standard before taking this course. You can prepare well during the semester break first or practice hard during the semester. Especially for the double entry in each and every standards, you really need to understand it clearly. This will help you to avoid one of the most common problems students face, which is not getting the statement of financial position to balance. In reality, it is much easier if you know the double entry or journal for each transaction well. However, there are certain standards that we might forgot or not fully understand. So in that case, don't be afraid to ask your lecturer. I feel very lucky to have Dr. Gan as my lecturer because I asked her about each and every standard seriously every single time after class to ensure I had a strong impression of what I learned, and she was always willing to discuss with students, so don't be too worried about that. Well, apart from that, doing question bank and past year paper are definitely a good practice to make you more familiar with this course. If you don't have the question bank, you can either get it from your senior, or I also found out that the ICAW website can access some of the past year paper provided that you have already registered as the member of ICAW, which I believe most of you had done it before. In short, the more you practice, the better your understanding will be, because even if you have done a question before, each new question can still be very different in the way it is said. That's exactly why consistent practice is so important. I also know some people might not want to do much practice, right? So in that case, knowing the exam format and the key point for each standards will help you predict what is likely to be appear in the exam. For example, in my case, I will discuss with my friend and only found those past year paper questions that we had not seen before and try to do that. Like for the inventory standard, we will need to focus on NRE test. For the related party disclosure standard, it usually appears in question 2 in the exam. So this will require you to actually pay attention to the class. Last but not least, the most important thing for me, not only for this subject but for all other subjects as well, is to actually pay attention in the class and ask the lecturer whenever you don't understand something in the class or lecture notes, whether during class, after class, or before class. If you have any doubts, good communication with your lecturer will help you develop a patience for learning and make the course more enjoyable. I also know most of the people prefer emailing to lecturer to ask question, but personally I think face-to-face discussion with the lecturer will be much more efficient, although it might take a bit more time, but it's worth to it. In the exam, one tactic you can use is to start with question 3 and question 4 first, as their format are usually more standards compared to question 1 and question 2, which can vary a lot from paper to paper. So in my own final, I spend time double checking my answer, but I would strongly suggest avoiding that if the time is very tight lah. Carelessness is also something that I experienced before in the final, so be sure to extra attentive to every single word in the question. Thank you very much, and I hope this will actually be helpful for all of you to achieve outstanding result in advanced financial accounting reporting.